Now, a big issue that a lot of homeowners don't even think about or they don't take seriously enough are the possibility of having burst pipes from them freezing up, or at your hose bibs or your outdoor faucets, those freezing up and also causing those pipes to burst. So in this video, I'm gonna go over some techniques that can be used and also some products that can be used, kind of like this one right here that looks kind of like a spark plug, in order to stop those issues from happening. So let's go ahead and jump right in. Now, one of my first concerns is making sure that all of my piping is insulated. Now, this can happen in different places where you will not have insulated piping. Oftentimes in unfinished garages, underneath of homes, in crawl spaces, down in basements, or in my case, I have a well pump that's outside in a shed, and a lot of the times the piping will not be insulated. In the event of a hard freeze or freezes that can last for days on end, this can be a huge problem if those pipes are not insulated, to where it will cause that water to freeze up inside, expand, and burst those pipes. Now, this is fairly inexpensive and it's very easy to install. There is a pre-scored line going all the way down the insulation. That's where you'll just pull the insulation apart. It'll easily start tearing apart. Then you just wrap it around the pipe that you're trying to insulate. And there will be different kinds of pipe insulation. This one in particular, it's just that easy, where you just pull it apart, wrap it around the pipe, and then it just holds its shape around the pipe. But then you also have insulation like this one here, where it's also pre-scored. You just open it up, wrap it around, and then you'll see there's this film that is hanging off of this insulation. You just pull that film off, it's going to expose some adhesive, and then you just push the two ends together and they're going to stick together. So it does create a little bit nicer bond than just having the one that just wraps around it. Either one will work, it's just a little bit nicer. All right, so one area where a lot of people don't realize that they need to be taking precaution for or protecting against freezing weather is right here at these outdoor faucets or these hose bibs. Now, for those of you that live in the north, more than likely, most of you anyways, do not have a hose bib that looks exactly like this. As you can see with this hose bib, my piping that's going to the hose bib is actually coming out of the wall. Whereas for a lot of you in the north, a lot of you are not going to have hose bibs that look like this. Most of them are going to look more like this on the screen. Now, as you can see by looking at this hose bib, this has a particularly long shaft. And that is why they are installed in the north, because they call this an anti-frost or anti-freeze faucet, because the seal for when you turn off the water is all the way at the other end of that faucet. So the actual seal is inside the wall, where it's warmer, where you're heating your house, it's insulated, and so therefore the water is not outdoors or exposed to that freezing cold temperature, and then therefore causing it to freeze and cause a big issue. So that is definitely something, if you live in the north, take a look at, see if you actually have one of those particular hose bibs, because it's not a guarantee that everybody will. But for those of us that do not live in those really, really cold climates where you're getting a bunch of snow and freezes that last for days and days and days, more than likely you're going to have something that looks more like this right here. And because you don't live in a place that has super cold weather on a regular basis, those anti-freeze faucets are deemed not necessary, and you need to take some precautions. This is an exterior faucet protector, and they come in different kinds. You got this one right here, and then you can also get this one here. The difference between the two is this one has a nice hard shell on it, so it's protecting the insulation that's inside from, if you get rain, it getting wet. It also protects it from getting damaged. And even though plastic is not known as an insulator, it does still add to the insulation factor of this particular faucet protector. Whereas with this one, it doesn't have the hard shell. It can be exposed to the elements. Very easy to break. It's just basically styrofoam like you would find with a styrofoam cooler. But if you're not needing to use these on a regular basis, these are slightly cheaper than the ones that have the plastic cover on them, and they'll still do a good job of insulating the hose bib on those occasions that you get those hard freezes. If we look on the inside, there's this rubber piece with a rubber loop on it, and the way that this works is you take that rubber loop, slip that ring over where the water comes out, then once that's slipped over the faucet, you just then take the cover and then just start pulling on the rubber string that is coming out of the top of it, grab the end of it, and then take this plastic piece, and there's a little button on it that you just compress, and then slide it down towards the faucet protector and keep pulling on it until you get a nice tight seal. And then once that's down nice and tight, We just let go and it holds it down into place. When you heat your house in the winter, some of that heat is escaping your house. And so that heat that's in your walls, some of it that's trying to escape, or just that the walls are warmer themselves, some of that heat is going to be trapped in this faucet protector, which, while it's not going to be nearly as warm as your house, but it's not going to allow for anything inside of the faucet protector to get down to that 32 Fahrenheit or below mark to where it would cause freezing in the piping or the hose bib. But I will tell you from my own experience that when those freezes start, these things sell out extremely fast, along with the pipe insulation and everything else. Everybody goes to the stores, and not only are they sold out in the stores, they sell out online extremely quickly. Now, if you are someone that waited too long and everything is sold out, something that you can do, it will work. It's not as good as this. What you can do is you can take some wool socks like these, fold them down, and then fit the sock over the hose bib, push it up against the wall, and now you at least have some insulation on your hose bib. Everything is fully encapsulated. It will definitely help with keeping the water warmer that's in the pipes so that it is less likely to freeze. And then to take this a step further, if then you take a Ziploc bag, put that over that sock, and then you take a rubber band or a zip tie or something and just tighten it down to that, now it is also weatherproofed. Now, if you live in one of those really, really harsh climates and you're just looking at this and you're just thinking, I don't know that that's going to fully do it, then I have another solution that really everybody should take a look at because it's incredibly ingenious and it will work in any of those climates that you put it in. And that's this device right here. This is called a freeze miser. And I will tell you that they did not reach out to me. I've had no communication with them. I am not sponsored by them. I just found this online, and while it is more expensive than getting these will work in pretty much any climate that you will put them in. They're super, super easy to install. So all you do is you take the freeze miser, you put it onto the spigot like you would with a hose, you twist it on to where it's nice and tight. And then once that's on there really nice and tight, you want to make sure that you have a nice seal. There is a seal inside that goes up against the opening to the hose bib. Once that's on there really nice and tight, then you just turn on the faucet all the way on, and that's it. It's completely installed now, and you can walk away from this knowing that you're not going to have any issues. Now, a lot of you are probably wondering, how in the world does this work? Because I'm not adding any insulation to it. Well, the way that this works is kind of like the old school method where it's going to cause a drip rate. So as the air gets colder, it's going to start cooling the water that's in the hose bib and in the piping. And as that water temperature goes down, once it reaches 37 degrees Fahrenheit, the thermal wax that is inside of the freeze miser is going to start to shrink. And when it shrinks, it's going to cause a rod to start to go down, which then is going to open up the flow of water. So at 37 or 36 degrees, you're just going to see just a slight drip. But then the colder it gets, say you're in a really, really cold area, and this just continues to get colder and colder, it's just going to continue to cause that thermal wax to shrink up, causing the rod to extend down even more, opening that port up even more, and therefore allowing more of a flow rate to come out, so that you never have to worry about this getting backed up and then therefore freezing and possibly bursting. So as that water starts to warm back up, that thermal wax will start to expand more, causing the rod to come back up and therefore causing a slower drip rate to then, once it gets back up above 37 degrees, it will completely shut off. And these aren't made just to go on hose bibs. They can also go on hoses. So if you use a hose on a regular basis and it's going to freeze, you can put this on the end of the hose. And these can also be installed on watering troughs for your farm animals. So really cool device. I actually bought quite a few of them for myself. Again, I'll have links for this along with everything else down in the description down below where you can check them out for yourself. Also, just as a bonus tip from my own experience, this is also the time to be picking up any frost blankets that you might need for any of your landscaping, because just like everything else that I showed you earlier in the video, these things seem to just fly off the shelves and sell out online as soon as we all start getting those freezes. Now, if you found value in this video, I did a video quite a long time ago where I go over 12 steps that every homeowner should be considering taking in order to get their homes ready for winter. They are not only steps that are going to help protect your house, but they're also going to help keep you safer and also help you to reduce your heating costs during the winter. If you're interested in learning more about that, I'll post a link to that video right over here. When you click on it, it will take you directly to it. So I hope that you found this video to be helpful and interesting, and if you did, if you could do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button right down below. And of course, if you have any questions or comments still, you can leave those down in the comment section. And I'll catch you all in the next one. See ya.